Today, I get a big weight off my chest because today I can finally tell you that I have played Call of Duty Modern Warfare multiplayer. I actually got to play it all the way back in May at the kind of reveal event that I went to, but I wasn't allowed to say anything until today. Today, I am able to talk to you guys about multiplayer and about Gunfight. Now, there is certain things that I am not able to tell you until August 1st, which is the official multiplayer gameplay premiere, which shows everything, kill streaks, weapons, all of that kind of crap. That is on August 1st. But until then, I am able to talk about Gunfight today. So the gameplay you're watching here today is not of me. Unfortunately, we weren't allowed to record while we were there. However, 4 streamers went out to Infinity Ward today and they got to stream some gameplay of Gunfight. So Legion, TP, Courage, and Syndicate were all there streaming. So that is the gameplay you're watching here. I will link the channels that I use down in the description below. Now, Gunfight is kind of like the newest game mode coming to Modern Warfare. It was personally my favorite thing at the event that we went to, and I get to tell you all about it today. How it works, the gameplay, what it feels like. I also get to tell you about a couple new gameplay mechanics that are in the game as well. So what is Gunfight? Gunfight is a 2v2 game mode, so you and a partner fight against 2 other people, and you get 1 life. So in each round, each player has 1 life and 100 health. There is no healing in this game mode. So even if you get shot, you don't auto regen, you can't manual regen health, you just have 100 health. Now, if you don't die at the end of 40 seconds, a flag pops up in the middle of the map, and the first team to capture that wins. If nobody captures the flag after a set amount of time, then the team with the most amount of health wins. So it's like a mix of search and destroy, face off from Modern Warfare 3, and it plays so damn well. I'm telling you, this was absolutely my favorite thing that we played when we went, and there is more game modes. There is your normal Call of Duty multiplayer, but like I said, we can't talk about that till August 1st. Now, as far as this goes, there's a lot we have to talk about with this. So first of all, there is not only just Gunfight. As we saw from the live stream today, there's also variants of Gunfight. One variant that they played today was one where you spawn in with a pistol and you had to run around like old school mode and find weapons on the wall, on the ground, pick them up, and then you have the weapon for that round. Kind of works like Halo almost. But what this means is that it's not just going to be limited to the normal Gunfight or the old school Gunfight like we talked about. There's also going to be other types of gunfights as well, whether that be search and destroy style, whether that be multiple lives, I don't know, but it's very clear that they are able to implement variants of this game mode, and we're going to be able to play those as well. Now, here's the big one. This is something they didn't show on the live stream, but I am allowed to talk about, and I'm excited to talk about. There is now tournaments in multiplayer. No, you didn't hear me wrong. Tournaments. A 16-player bracket tournament, and it is amazing. So basically, you just press a button like you were joining a game, but you join into a tournament. You can play with a buddy, you can play solo and get matched with a random person, and then you are in a 16-person bracket tournament. We had one tournament while we were at the event, and guess who won? So yes, myself and the exclusive ace, my buddy, we were playing together, and we managed to pull off the first ever victory in a tournament, and it's pretty sweet. The feeling you get when you play this, you get really fired up, almost like you're trying to clutch a search and destroy game, but every single round, because you don't want to let your partner down, and I think really that is the magic of this game mode. So there's a couple cool things about this game mode. First of all, the maps. So the maps that you saw today are not the normal multiplayer maps. These maps are specifically designed for Gunfight and 2v2 game modes, which means they're smaller than the normal multiplayer maps, more chaotic, and literally just designed for this, which is just shows you how out of the way the developers are going to add extra content, not just the normal multiplayer maps, but these as well. So the 3 maps that we got today are King. This one's like an interior warehouse, kind of like Kill House from the original Modern Warfare. The second, my personal favorite, is Pine. This one's just basically a forest. It looks absolutely beautiful. And then finally, Stack. This one's a desert container yard. And this one was probably my least favorite, but it still played really, really good. And as I mentioned before, they are a lot smaller smaller than your normal multiplayer maps. Now, just based off of looking at these maps to start things off, the first thing you're going to notice when watching the gameplay is this game is beautiful. They did a really good job of reimagining the engine for this game and just making it absolutely beautiful. Honestly, I think it's the best looking Call of Duty game we've seen to date. Now, the other thing I wanted to get out of the way right away is one of the things that I've seen is people are saying that since they decided to reveal the multiplayer in this way, they think the game isn't very complete. What I will say to that is I can't tell you everything that I saw while I was there, but when we played this in May, not July, in May, this was the most complete build of Call of Duty I have ever seen that early, which is saying a lot. Like, they were way ahead of schedule compared to other games that I have played at this time. So I don't think that rumor that's going around is at all true. So as far as the new gameplay mechanics and how the game actually plays. So the first new gameplay mechanic that you probably noticed today is leaning or mantling. So what you can do is if you get to a corner or a ledge, you can actually mantle to that corner with your weapon and you kind of lean around the edge to kind of get an advantage on your enemies. This was something that was in Call of Duty Ghosts and is also something that's very prevalent in Rainbow Six Siege. This is coming to Modern Warfare. Now, I'm not 100% how I feel about this. I'm gonna have to wait and see. It works really, really well in this game mode, Gunfight, but as far as the regular multiplayer, I'm not 100% sold on it. I'm gonna have to wait to play it a little bit more, but like I said, it's more similar to the Rainbow Six Siege version of this than it is the Call of Duty Ghost version. The second thing, super sprint. So this is something that's brand new to Call of Duty, has never been in a Call of Duty game before. So basically you have your normal sprint. If you hold down on the left stick like you normally would, you would sprint like normal. However, if you press the left stick twice, you super sprint. And what this does is make you run even faster than you normally would for a shorter period of time. And this is really good from getting from one piece of cover to another. If you're running through like a road or something like that, you can get from one side of the road to the other very quickly. It's a really cool mechanic, and I think the reason why they're doing it is to speed up the game. Without 3D movement, without wall runs or anything like that, you move a lot slower and it makes the game feel a lot slower. But when you introduce something like super sprint, it once again re-speeds that up, and that's nice to see. The other thing that you may have noticed, especially compared to Black Ops 4, is recoil. Every single one of the weapons in this game has a good amount of recoil. That's something that Infinity Ward, I think, tries to do in most of their games, but in this one, they really seem to nail it. And I think they did it in a good way. When we played it, it didn't feel like there was an overabundant amount of recoil, but it felt like enough where you had to be a skillful player to actually be able to take people out. And I really, really like that. Now, as far as how the game actually felt, so I played an alpha version of the game and it felt really good. It felt a little bit slower than Black Ops 4, but I think that's for a couple of reasons. First of all, I didn't know where I was going on any of the maps. And second of all, I think your character does feel a little bit heavier. The way they overcome that is with the super sprint like we talked about before. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is the mini-map. As we saw in today's gameplay and as you're seeing here, there is no mini-map. Now, I'm not sure whether or not there is going to be a mini-map in the regular multiplayer. We'll have to find out on August 1st. But as far as the mini-map, no mini-map in this game mode, it works. It 100% works in this game mode. In regular multiplayer, I'm not 100% sure whether or not this is going to be good. Like I said, I hope they don't do that, but we'll have to wait and see what they finally decide on August 1st. So the other thing that you may have noticed is that in this game mode, there is no create a class or pick a class or whatever you want to call it. As far as this game mode goes, every 2 or 3 rounds, depending on how they have the game set up, you will actually just switch weapons and you and your opponent will have the exact same weapon and be on the same level. And that's, I think, one of the things that makes this so intense is it's literally just comes down to gun skill or who can navigate the map better. And I really like that. I really like everything that they did with this game mode. Now, the other really sweet thing that we saw today, and I actually didn't see this when we were there to check out the game, is finishers. So if you're gonna go up and like stab someone with a knife, you have these really sweet animations where you take them out, and when they're in the final kill cam slowed down and everything, they look really, really amazing as you're seeing on screen here. Now, the final thing I wanted to talk about is weapons. We're just going to talk about this one quickly because I'm going to make a completely separate video, probably early tomorrow morning, about this. But as far as weapons, you saw a lot today. You got the MP5, MP7, AUG, FAMAS, sniper rifle, a couple of shotguns, a couple of LMGs, a lot of weapons that are returning from previous Modern Warfare games, and they all look really really good. Personally, the favorite one that I was playing with and got to use and liked was the AUG and the MP5. I love the MP5. It didn't feel like the strongest weapon in the game, but the nostalgia it brought back from Modern Warfare 1 was absolutely unreal. As far as like the best SMG, which you could see from the gameplay today, and on top of that I got to use, MP7, that thing absolutely shredded, and I can't wait to play more of this game, man. That's really the biggest thing that I can get across to you guys. I absolutely love this game mode, and I can't wait to play more tournaments, especially on stream and videos. I think the tournaments, and specifically this game mode, is going to be really amazing for videos and content creation. So I can't wait to play more of this game. That's really what I can't get to the bottom line of in this video, is I just want to play this game more, but it feels like so long until I get to again. But I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know what you think of this game down in the comments below. Do you like what you see? Do you hate what you see? What do you think of Gunfight, the new game mode? What do you think of tournaments? I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. If you want to stay up to date on everything Modern Warfare, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And as always, thank you for watching, and until next time, peace out.
Listen.